Big shout out to today's sponsor who made this video possible, Squarespace. Now, according to a survey by Fully Charged, the biggest concern for people who are thinking of buying an electric vehicle is the cost. So I figured since I've owned the best-selling electric car, the Tesla Model 3, for a year and a half, I'm going to show you exactly how much it has cost me to own it and drive it 40,000 miles. To do this, I'm going to get geeky with some numbers and go over my top 5 categories of expenses, so let's dive right in. First, the price of my long-range Tesla Model 3, including taxes, was $59,422, but I was eligible for the full $7,500 tax credit, so after factoring in that, which I eventually received, the actual cost of my Model 3 was $51,922. I did have a very small low-interest loan for a couple months, but I quickly realized that I wanted to keep the car long-term, so I paid it off. We'll say the little money I paid in interest brought the total to a nice even $52,000. So yes, relatively a pretty expensive upfront cost. But let's talk about how this car saves money. Now, obviously, one of the best advantages of owning an electric car is not buying gas anymore, and it's even better if you're like me and you drive a lot while living in a location that has cheap electricity, such as beautiful Louisville, Kentucky. Now, my car's electricity falls into 2 categories: home charging and supercharging. In its first 40,000 miles, my Model 3 used 9,622 kilowatt hours of electricity, of which 9,428 was from home charging, and the other 194 was from supercharging. Now, I've spent a total of $54 at Superchargers, and my cost to charge at home overnight during off-peak hours is 7 cents per kilowatt hour, which means I've spent about $660 on home charging. However, 100% of the electricity does not always make it from the outlet to the turning of the wheels. Now, this is called wall-to-wheels efficiency, and in one of the original Tesla documents, they estimated an 86% wall-to-wheels efficiency. Now, it's most likely improved since then though, but if we also factor in the small amount of battery drain from leaving the car sitting somewhere unplugged, 86% is probably a fair estimate. So based on that, my home charging actually cost $767. So that means the total electricity cost to travel 40,000 miles was $821. That's actually really impressive. Now, to put it into perspective, if I drove 40,000 miles in a similarly priced gas car, such as the BMW 3 Series, which gets 30 miles per gallon, at an average gas cost of $2.50 per gallon, that comes to a total of $3,333 spent on gas. That means compared to a BMW 3 Series, my total estimated fuel savings over 17 months was over $2,500. Now, that's nearly $150 savings each month just on gas alone. And as Elon Musk would say, that's really cool. Now, what's also cool is the total cost of maintenance after 40,000 miles has been absolutely $0. Not even new tires yet, even though I will get some before winter hits. Now, I've had 3 minor repairs done to my car, all of which were covered for free under the warranty, and each time the Tesla Mobile Ranger came to my location and fixed the issue on the spot without having to go in for service. Since I haven't owned my Model 3 for 2 years yet, the only recommended maintenance according to the manual is tire rotations every 10,000 miles. But I have a local tire shop in my city that gives free tire rotations to Tesla owners. Again, another reason to love Louisville. So still nothing spent on maintenance. Now, many people have commented on my videos saying, what about the cost of a new battery? Well, what if it never needs a new battery? You see, since I got my Model 3, the estimated range has actually increased by 10 miles. Now, here's how it happened. First, my estimated range went from 310 to 325 miles as a result of a free software update. However, the Tesla Stats app says my estimated range is currently 320 miles, which is actually in the 99th percentile. So basically, I've lost about 5 miles of estimated range after driving 40,000 miles. Based on this, at 400,000 miles, my Model 3 could still have an estimated range of around 275 miles. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there are electric cars coming out right now with less range than that, yet they cost 3 times as much as my Model 3. Pretty clear winner there, right? Now, since we're talking about car prices, let's see how my Model 3 has depreciated. I went on a few different sites, including Car Gurus, Edmunds, Auto Trader, and Kelley Blue Book, and got the estimated value based on my car's options and mileage. For my long-range Model 3, which is in very good condition, with 40,000 miles, it's worth about $42,000, according to these sites. Now, remember, I purchased it for $52,000, so it's lost an estimated $10,000 in value so far. This is right on par, if not better, than the rule of thumb that says almost any new car will lose about 20% of its value in the first year. But this is not an actual expense unless you plan to sell the car at some point. With a Tesla, it's a little different because the car is constantly improving as far as the software goes, but the software improvements also can improve the actual range and performance of the car itself, which is incredibly unique to Tesla vehicles right now. That, along with the promise of Tesla's future robo-taxi service, which is designed to make money for the owner, it makes depreciation seem like an unimportant afterthought for Tesla owners. Now finally, we have the miscellaneous expenses, including my insurance, which costs about $2,000 per year for both my Model 3 and my wife's car. Now remember from our comparison earlier, I'm saving almost $150 a month on fuel, so my fuel savings basically pays for my insurance costs, which is pretty awesome. Now speaking of insurance, I paid a $500 deductible to get my bumper replaced when something flew up and hit it while I was driving on the highway. Also, 2 of my 3 speeding tickets I've ever gotten in my life have come since getting my Model 3. So that's one con about owning such a quick car. It's super easy to speed without realizing it until it's too late. So now I try to put it in autopilot as much as I can. And I also invested in this $200 cordless radar detector just to be on the safe side. I've also spent about $150 on various other Model 3 accessories, including floor mats, a console wrap, and a screen protector. I paid around $900 to get my NEMA 1450 outlet installed in my garage, which is on the expensive side and isn't really a requirement for all Tesla owners. Now, some can get by with just a normal outlet. Another completely optional expense was $1,700 to get the entire front of my Model 3 wrapped in a clear paint protection film because I drive so much and plan to keep the car for a long time. But I also use my Model 3 for business purposes. I drive Uber Select and Lyft Lux with it, and of course I make YouTube videos with it and also drive it to job sites when I film weddings and things like that. So my business mileage deductions so far have actually saved me about $4,500 in taxes. That's pretty amazing considering this is virtually a maintenance-free car that doesn't require gas. So that's how much it has cost me to own and drive my Model 3 during its first 40,000 miles. It's been one of the best purchases I've ever made, and I look forward to the next 40,000 miles and beyond. Such a buzz thing to say, so buzz of me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And finally, I want to thank today's sponsor, Squarespace, which is an easy to use platform that allows you to create your own beautiful website. You don't need to be a graphic designer or professional coder. Squarespace gives you all the tools you need. Go to squarespace.com/AndySly to get a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. With Squarespace, it's easy to track trends and optimize your posting with its traffic overview feature, while also unifying your voice across your website and brand emails with their email campaigns feature, which is a must for any website owner. Again, you can visit squarespace.com/AndySly for a free trial and 10% off your first purchase. Thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Andy. If you want to see more tech and Tesla videos in the future, make sure you subscribe. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.